The soft hum of cicadas fills the air as Malik Thompson steps out onto his porch, stretching his arms under the golden glow of the setting sun. This is his sanctuary, his little corner of suburban peace. The neatly trimmed lawn, the row of pastel-colored houses lining the cul-de-sac, the distant laughter of kids playing basketball down the street. He worked hard for this. Worked twice as hard as most of his neighbors just to be here. He takes a deep breath, savoring the scent of fresh-cut grass and charcoal smoke drifting from a barbecue 2 houses down. His wife, Tasha, is inside prepping dinner, and their 5-year-old daughter, Zoe, is giggling in the living room, probably watching cartoons. But something feels off. His gaze drifts toward the house across the street. House number 214, the only one in the neighborhood with an oversized American flag waving aggressively on the porch, like a warning. The owner, Karen Whitmore, president of the Oakwood Meadows HOA. Karen, the self-appointed guardian of the neighborhood's integrity. Always watching, always finding something to complain about. Malik shakes off the uneasy feeling and steps toward his mailbox, flipping through bills and ads. As he turns, he notices something strange. The small Amazon box that was supposed to be on his welcome mat? Gone. Frowning, he checks his phone. Your package has been delivered. He glances around. Maybe Tasha brought it inside? Maybe the driver left it at the wrong house? Or maybe... His eyes flick toward house number 214. It wouldn't be the first time something mysteriously vanished from their porch. Last month, his garden hose disappeared. A few weeks ago, Zoe's sidewalk chalk set went missing. Small things, petty things, things that made him second-guess himself. But now it's a package, a real delivery, and he's sure it was there. He exhales sharply, trying to calm the slow boil in his gut. Babe, did you grab my package? He calls over his shoulder. Tasha peeks out from the doorway, wiping her hands on a dish towel. What package? His stomach tightens. He knew it. Someone took it. And in this neighborhood, where there's only one person who thinks she runs the place, he has a strong suspicion who. His fingers tighten around his phone as he glances toward Karen's porch. The wind catches the edge of her oversized flag, making it snap against the pole. For a split second, he sees movement behind her lace curtains. Watching, he clenches his jaw. This wasn't just about a missing package anymore. It was about something bigger, something unspoken but understood. People like him, they didn't belong here. At least, not in Karen Whitmore's version of Oakwood Meadows. But if she thought she could keep getting away with this, she was about to find out just how wrong she was. Malik sits on his porch, arms crossed, eyes locked on house number 214. The missing package isn't just an inconvenience. It's a warning, a silent message wrapped in passive aggression. But messages work both ways. He scrolls through his Amazon app, checking the proof of delivery. A blurry photo of his porch with the package sitting right there, time-stamped 20 minutes ago. Not lost, not misplaced, taken. Across the street, the front door of house number 214 swings open. Karen Whitmore steps out, cradling a steaming mug like she owns the sunrise. Blonde bob, crisp polo shirt, capris that look ironed to perfection. She surveys the neighborhood like a queen inspecting her kingdom. Her eyes flick toward him. She offers a tight-lipped smile, the kind you give a cashier you don't respect. Malik forces a nod. Karen strolls to her mailbox, moving slowly, deliberately, like she's daring him to speak first, like she's waiting for him to cause trouble. He exhales through his nose, pushing down the frustration clawing at his chest. No proof, no confrontation, not yet, but something shifts when she opens her mailbox. A flicker of hesitation, a quick glance over her shoulder. Then, she reaches in and pulls out an Amazon package. Malik's pulse spikes. He stands up. Morning, Karen. She flinches, just a fraction. Then the mask snaps back into place. Oh, Malik. Lovely day, isn't it? She hugs the package to her chest like it's a secret. The cardboard is the same size as his missing one. Casual. Stay casual. Waiting on a delivery myself, he says, stepping off the porch. Says it was dropped off a few minutes ago. You didn't see anything, did you? Her smile tightens. Oh dear, packages do get stolen sometimes. Such a shame what's happening these days. These days. Malik grits his teeth. Yeah, he says. But this is a quiet street. No porch pirates here, right? Karen gives a light, patronizing chuckle. Oh, you'd be surprised. Some people just don't respect community rules. His jaw ticks. What rules? The ones she makes up as she goes? Karen hugs the package tighter. Then, just as quickly, she forces a laugh and shakes her head. But I wouldn't worry, Malik. I'm sure your package will turn up. Eventually. And with that, she turns, disappearing inside her house. Malik stands there, fists clenching and unclenching. That wasn't reassurance. That was a threat. His missing package is in her hands. He knows it, but knowing isn't proving. And Karen Whitmore plays by one rule only: power. This wasn't just about a stolen delivery. It was about control. But Malik? He's about to take that power right out of her hands. Malik paces the length of his porch, the injustice gnawing at him like a splinter too deep to pull out. Karen has his package. She knows it. He knows it. But without proof, she's safe behind that smug little smirk. He glances down at his phone again. Proof of delivery, timestamped. Maybe it's time to take a different approach. He heads inside, where Tasha is setting the dinner table. Zoe hums a song as she colors at the kitchen island. Home. His safe space. Hey, he says, voice tight. Karen took my package. Tasha freezes, hands still on a plate. You're sure? He nods. I saw her grab a box from her mailbox. Same size as mine. And the way she looked at me. He exhales sharply. It was a game to her. Tasha presses her lips together. I knew something was up the moment we moved in. She's always got something to say. Too many cars in our driveway, our grass being half an inch too tall. But this? Stealing? She won't admit it. Malik rubs a hand over his jaw. And she's got the HOA wrapped around her finger. Tasha folds her arms. Then we get proof. Malik nods. He already has an idea. The first confrontation. The next morning, Malik walks down the driveway, scanning the neighborhood. His neighbor, Jorge, is out watering his plants. He's lived here for 5 years, long enough to know how things work. Jorge, Malik calls, approaching. You ever have packages go missing? Jorge shifts uncomfortably. Once or twice. A pause. Never happens to the Walkers or the Harrisons, though. White families. Malik clenches his jaw. Karen? Jorge hesitates. Then he sighs. Man, I'm just trying to keep my head down. She's got power, Malik. She makes one call. Suddenly you're getting HOA fines for the dumbest things. So that's how she does it. Fear. Malik nods. Thanks anyway. He heads back toward his house, mind racing. If people are afraid to talk, then he needs hard evidence. Setting the trap. That afternoon, Malik places an order on Amazon, something small, something cheap. When the delivery arrives, he doesn't bring it inside. Instead, he sets up his old phone facing the porch, camera recording. If Karen tries something, this time he'll catch her red-handed. Hours pass. The sun starts to dip. And then, movement. Malik watches from the window as Karen steps onto her porch. She glances around, eyes sharp, predatory. Then, she crosses the street. His heartbeat pounds in his ears as she bends down, fingers closing around the box. Gotcha. But then, she stops, stands up, looks directly at the camera, smiles, and walks away. Malik curses under his breath. She saw it. She knew. And she was daring him to do something about it. His phone buzzes. Unknown number. He answers, already knowing. A smooth, clipped voice fills his ear. Malik, this is Karen Whitmore. I noticed you left a package outside. It's against HOA policy to leave unattended deliveries for too long. His grip tightens. Since when? Karen sighs like she's talking to a child. Since it became a safety issue. You understand, don't you? We have to keep the neighborhood secure. Secure from who? He bites his tongue. Did you touch my package, Karen? A beat. Then the fake sweetness again. Of course not. That would be stealing. The line goes dead. Malik exhales sharply. She's doubling down. Not only is she untouchable, she's making new rules just to mess with him. This isn't just about a package. It's about power. And Malik? He's about to flip the whole damn game. Malik stands on his porch, arms crossed, staring at house number 214 like a man preparing for battle. Karen stole from him, lied to him, humiliated him, and now she thinks she's untouchable. But what she doesn't know, Malik isn't backing down. He takes a deep breath, presses play on his phone, and starts walking across the street. The HOA meeting. The Oakwood Meadows HOA meetings are usually quiet affairs, boring discussions about lawn heights and parking violations. But tonight, everyone's here. The community center is packed, neighbors murmuring as Karen Whitmore stands at the front, sipping from her usual coffee mug, her posture queen-like. All right, everyone, she calls, voice carrying through the hall. Before we begin, I want to remind you all that we strive to maintain high standards in this neighborhood. Lately, we've had concerns. Her eyes flick to Malik. A smirk tugs at the corner of her lips. I've received complaints about certain residents leaving their deliveries unattended. She continues. Now, we all want to feel safe, don't we? Some neighbors nod. Others shift uncomfortably. Malik steps forward. Time to end this. Karen, can I ask you something? His voice is calm, steady. A hunter leading its prey into a trap. Karen raises a perfectly plucked brow. Of course, Malik. He lifts his phone. Did you, or did you not, take my Amazon package? A sharp, calculated pause. Then, a condescending chuckle. Malik, really? Are we still on this? If you lost your package, I'm very sorry, but accusing your neighbors is not appropriate. More murmurs. Malik doesn't blink. You're right. Accusing without proof wouldn't be fair. His thumb hovers over his phone screen. One click. Good thing I have video evidence. The room stills. Karen's smile falters for the first time. I set up a camera. Malik continues, voice even, and it caught someone approaching my porch. Someone bending down, touching my package. He tilts his head. Would you like to see who it was? Karen's face freezes. The power dynamic in the room shifts. Her eyes dart around, searching for an escape. Then she laughs, forced, brittle. Malik, this is ridiculous. If you had evidence, you'd have shown it already. Malik's lip curls. You're right. He presses play. A voice crackles through the speakers. Karen's voice. Malik, this is Karen Whitmore. I noticed you left a package outside. It's against HOA policy to leave unattended deliveries for too long. Gasps ripple through the crowd. Someone mutters. She admitted it. Karen's face turns pale. This is out of context. Malik steps closer, lowering his voice just for her. No, Karen. This is checkmate. The room erupts. Silence grips the HOA meeting. The recording still echoes in the air like a gunshot. Karen Whitmore, the self-proclaimed guardian of Oakwood Meadows, just admitted to stealing Malik's package. For a split second, she's frozen. Then the mask cracks. Karen lets out a sharp, brittle laugh. Oh, Malik, she says, her voice overly sweet, her eyes darting around the room for allies. I was simply reminding you of our community guidelines. That's not proof of anything. She flips her hair, straightening her shoulders. Besides, anyone can edit audio these days. It's very easy to manipulate things to fit a narrative. A murmur spreads through the crowd. Doubt. Some of the older residents nod, clinging to their trust in Karen. She thinks she still has control. Malik smiles. You're right. Audio can be edited. He pulls up his next piece of evidence. That's why I have video too. Karen's whole body goes rigid. Malik holds up his phone, turning the screen so everyone can see. The footage is clear. Karen, walking across the street, glancing around, reaching for the package. Gasps ripple through the crowd. Karen snaps. That doesn't prove anything, she shrieks, her voice cracking. I was checking for suspicious activity. I didn't steal anything. She turns frantically to the HOA board, her perfectly crafted demeanor unraveling. You know me. I've run this HOA for years. You're really going to take his word over mine? His word. The coded language isn't lost on anyone. More neighbors shift uncomfortably. Jorge, the neighbor Malik spoke to earlier, clears his throat. Karen, didn't you say just last week that packages never go missing around here? Why yes, but… So why? Malik says, taking a step forward. Were you so sure mine would? Karen visibly flounders. Malik keeps going, pressing the blade deeper. Because this isn't about community safety. It never was. This is about you trying to control who belongs here. About you making up rules just to target people you don't like. Karen turns red. That's a disgusting accusation. Oh yeah. Malik cocks his head. Funny thing, a few of us did some digging. Karen blinks. What? Tasha steps forward, holding up a stack of printed HOA complaints. These are all the fines and complaints filed under your leadership, Karen. 90%? Filed against Black and Latino families. More gasps. Karen staggers back like she's been slapped. That's just a coincidence. I enforce the rules fairly. Really? Malik raises a brow. Because I also found out something interesting about your authority in this HOA. He pulls up an official-looking email. Karen visibly pales. This, Malik continues, his voice dangerously calm, is from the Oakwood Meadows Property Management Office. I gave them a call this morning. They informed me that, surprise, surprise, you're not actually the HOA president anymore. Dead silence. Karen chokes. That's a lie. Malik's smirk is pure satisfaction. Nope. Turns out your term expired 3 months ago. You were supposed to hold a vote for a new board. He tilts his head. But you didn't, did you? Karen is shaking now. Which means, Tasha chimes in, arms folded. You've been illegally enforcing HOA rules this whole time. Fining people. Making decisions. Stealing. Abusing power you don't even have. The room erupts. You mean we've been paying fines to a fake president? Someone yells. She's been targeting people for years. Another neighbor shouts. Jorge shakes his head. Damn, we should have spoken up sooner. Karen panics. I didn't, but it's too late. Her power is crumbling. A woman in a suit suddenly steps forward. Malik recognizes her, the real HOA property manager. Mrs. Whitmore, she says coolly, you will be investigated for misrepresentation, illegal fines, and harassment of residents. Expect a cease and desist order in the morning. Karen's mouth falls open. You can't do this to me. I built this community. No, Karen, Malik says, his voice razor sharp. You built a dictatorship. Karen's face twists into pure hatred. But the neighborhood isn't on her side anymore. Her kingdom has fallen. And Malik? He finally won. The fall of Karen Whitmore. The next morning, Oakwood Meadows wakes up to something unbelievable. Karen Whitmore, once the self-proclaimed ruler of the HOA, stands on her porch in pink silk pajamas, her face tight with barely restrained fury, as a sheriff's deputy hands her a legal notice. Cease and desist. Fraudulent HOA activity. Potential civil lawsuits. A crowd has gathered. Neighbors who once tiptoed around her now watching with open curiosity. Some even recording. Is it true she stole money from us? She was never even in charge? Karen tries to hold her head high, but she's drowning in the weight of her own lies. She sees Malik across the street. Their eyes lock. She used to look at him with smug superiority. Now, she looks small, trapped. Malik folds his arms. Checkmate. The neighborhood awakens. By afternoon, an emergency HOA election is announced. For the first time, residents realize they've been accepting rules they never questioned. Jorge catches Malik outside. Man, he sighs, rubbing his neck. I should have spoken up sooner. Malik shrugs. You're speaking up now. Jorge nods. Yeah, and I'm voting for a new HOA board. A grin. You should run, you know? Malik laughs. I just wanted my package, man. Jorge smirks. Well, you got a lot more than that. The final blow. 2 weeks later, Karen puts her house up for sale. Rumors spread, legal fees, HOA violations, possible fraud investigations. Once, she was Oakwood Meadows' untouchable queen. Now, she's a disgraced exile. Malik doesn't bother gloating. The win speaks for itself. Reclaiming peace. On a quiet Saturday, Malik steps onto his porch to find a small Amazon box waiting for him. This time, it's untouched. Exactly where it should be. He picks it up, turns it over in his hands. A simple package. Something that should never have turned into a battle. Tasha leans against the doorway, smiling. Victory. Malik grins. Victory. Inside, Zoe giggles as she colors, completely unbothered by the chaos that once threatened their peace. And just like that, Oakwood Meadows feels like home again.